My little sister threw my cat from the 6th floor to see if cats always land on their feet. So I bought gasoline and a lighter to see if it would burn. She will never forget what I did. This story is about a particularly entitled sibling and how her actions affected my life. I hope this is allowed here. This happened years ago. My younger sister and I have always been pretty close, despite the fact she is spoiled rotten. Growing up, she was always treated better than me, and basically got anything she wanted. Nobody in my family ever really said no to her. If she didn't get her way, she would pout, sulk, cry, or whine until someone caved. My sister, whom I'll call S, came over to visit me once or twice a week. We made lunch together and chatted about our lives. I gave her a house key for emergencies. This will be relevant later. Besides my sister visiting, I didn't have much of a social life. So one month, I decided I wanted a companion to keep me company. I decided I really wanted a cat. I spent a few days researching the proper way to care for a cat. Vet care, the best food, grooming, dealing with different temperaments, etc. I also bought everything I needed to care for this cat. Food, an automatic water bowl, a bunch of toys, catnip, a cat bed, a cat tree, and a few other things. Once I was ready, I started looking for cats to adopt. I decided I wanted a cat, not a kitten. It was at the second shelter I went to that I found Freya. I saw this pure white kitty from a distance. When I went over to her enclosure, she immediately started rubbing on the glass and softly meowing. A staff member opened her enclosure so I could pet her. She rubbed all over me and purred so loudly she vibrated. She even licked my hand several times. I was absolutely in love. Freya is the best cat ever. She is like my child. My sister also fell in love with Freya almost immediately. She constantly said how much she wished Freya was hers. She told me how good she would treat her and how she would make her a service animal. I just brushed these comments off until one day, S said that she deserved to take Freya because she was getting a divorce and needed company. Neither of us have kids. I was completely caught off guard. I told her I would never ever give up my cat. She is basically my child. I thought that would be the end of it. I was so wrong. About 5 weeks after this conversation, I came home from work around 5 p.m. I mostly work from home, but go into my office a couple of times a month. I immediately noticed that Freya didn't meet me at the door. She always meets me at the door. I started to call her, but she didn't come. I tried shaking her treat container, but that didn't work either. By this point, I was frantically searching every inch of my house. There was absolutely no sign of Freya. She wasn't in my house. My heart sank to my stomach when I realized I must have accidentally let her out when I left for work that morning. Freya is strictly an indoor cat. I felt so guilty and worried about her. I called the shelter and inquired about her microchip, but they said they didn't have one activated for her. I don't know why I thought this was standard for shelter pets. I put up missing pet ads in all the local pet groups, put up flyers everywhere, knocked on the doors of everyone on my block, and asked them to keep an eye out for Freya. I spread some of her litter in the front yard and put out a humane trap with tuna. I was a mess without my beautiful, sweet cat. I cried so much my face was puffy, and I could barely eat or sleep. One day, about a week after Freya went missing, I was talking to a mutual friend of my sister. At one point, she casually said, "Oh, have you seen S' new cat? She's so pretty and has this beautiful white fur." My heart skipped a few beats, and then I asked her if she happened to know if the cat had a collar. She said yes, it had a red collar. That's when I just knew it was my Freya. I could feel it in my gut. I hung up and immediately called my sister. I began yelling the second she answered. "You effing B-word, you stole my cat. How could you? How dare you? You had no right to take my cat. How could you do this to me?" Her voice was dripping with attitude when she said, "I told you I deserve Freya more than you. She is meant to be my cat. Don't worry, I'll take good care of her." My face went red and anger coursed through me. I told her, "No, you will give me my cat right now, or I will absolutely call the police and press charges for theft and for breaking and entering." I figured she used her key to access my home while I was at work. I picked up Freya and the key to my house about 30 minutes later. My sister practically threw her at me. I started yelling, and she just sat there with a smirk. She said she wanted the cat because she deserved her. She likes white cats, seriously, and she would take better care of her. I told her she was delusional and walked away. I went very, very low contact with my sister after that. She no longer comes over for visits. We don't talk or text. We only see each other on major holidays with other family. My family was split on the issue. Some sided with me and some with my sister, including my mom. I am having the locks changed tomorrow and am considering pressing charges. Freya is still a part of my life, and I'm so grateful for her. I still can't believe my sister felt entitled to my cat and that she had the nerve to steal her. Some people just blow my mind.